All right, welcome back. So now in this lesson, we're going to be looking at close embrace that will work for both milonguero and salon. And it's going to be a little easier on the body. Instead of putting all that pressure into the ball of the feet where the toes start to scream at you saying, wait, come back, we're going to use the whole foot. So in this version, what we'll do is we'll get much closer, almost like 1 or 2 widths of a shoe. That's the distance. We're not getting very far apart. And then we're going to keep our hips back away from each other. We're not going to bring our hips in. Think about giving someone a hug. When you give them a hug, you don't come forward with the hips. Also, when you give them a hug, you don't lean into the ball of your feet. You keep your weight on the whole foot. You're not putting your weight on the person. This is just like giving someone a hug. I'm going to take my glasses off because this is a respectful thing when going to close embrace so that you don't push the side of your glasses into your partner's head. And then from here, we will stretch just like we're giving a hug in the chest. And if you want, go ahead and give your partner a hug. If you're there with somebody, give them a hug. You'll be able to feel that position. Yeah, and then go ahead and relax and come back. Notice that neither of us fell because we weren't leaning on each other. We'll go back to that hug position, and then this time just connect the left side, leaders, with the follower's right side. Just connect that hand together. And finding the hips back, we have space between our hips. We have space between our shoulders. We're not trying to come forward with the shoulders. And we're connecting in the low ribs. Good, we'll come back. So the zone that we're looking for is kind of down here, not up here, and not down here, but kind of along the low and middle ribs. This is what's going to connect with your partner. All right, so looking at the other side, what do we do with our right hand leaders and what do we do with our left hand followers? There's a lot of options here. I'm going to describe a couple to you and give you my preferred. So we're going to come forward in the chest, finding that same space. And then I'm going to take my right hand underneath Marina's left arm. So she's got her left arm up. And then here, I'm going to put my hand kind of in the middle of her back. Maybe, kind of at bra strap level, right in the middle. And then I'm going to keep my elbow up a bit. I'm not going to drop it down. Yeah? So I want to keep it up a bit. Then what she's going to do is she's going to connect with my shoulder blade. So I'm going to turn now so you can see where my hand is at. You can see I'm kind of right in the middle of her back. I'm not trying to get to the other side. When you try to get to the other side, you bring your shoulder close to your partner. We want to keep that shoulder away. So it's going to end up being more in the middle of the back. So with Marina's hand, you can see that with the length of her arm, she's running into about my scapula. She's also keeping her elbow down but out. She's not keeping it up in the air. And she can climb higher here, but now we don't look like we're as uniform. Yeah, so my elbow's down here and her elbow's up in the air. She's connecting at a different place. I prefer her first position where she was. So she's kind of touching my scapula. This actually becomes very important when we look at close embrace pivoting, which we're going to be looking at in another lesson. So this is our position in close embrace. With this left hand, I want to make sure that I'm not pushing it into my partner. I'm keeping it back. My elbow is back and not up in the air, but also not down. Leaders, you don't want your elbow down. Followers, you also don't want your elbow down. You want to be maybe at like a 45 degree from the floor. Yeah? And then here, this is at about the same height where she touches me on this side. I don't want to have it up in the air. Yeah, especially when your partner has a height change, a height difference so much like Marina, as she dances with taller leaders, when they're up here, then she's receiving information at this level and at this level and at chest level. And this is just not confusing. We can handle it, but it can feel strange. It feels better when the information is all on the same level. So I try to keep everything at the same level. So I'm here, not here, not here. All right, so work on that. Find a nice, comfortable, close embrace. And then we will see you in the next lesson.